really. Let's try another one. No, I don't want that either. Let's try this. But now the blue cord is all in the way, so I need to find a way to hide the charging cord. Okay. That's somewhat okay. Well, I need to charge my phone anyway, and I need to brush out my hair. So, for some reason, I've decided lately that I like watering down my detangling spray to try and get more out of it. I don't know why I started doing it, but I've just been doing that lately because I love leave-in conditioner. So this is day 7 hair, and I love leave-in conditioner. Like when I used the blow dryer last week, I was right. Like if you have a dry hair type, I think the blow dryer does dry out your hair. It adds volume. So I had used a ton of this, and I even used some coconut oil, the Yves Rocher one. But I realized I just had to keep putting this back into my hair so I could feel like, unless this is not the new one, is it? No. Let's see. The new one is thicker, as you can see. Has more viscosity to it, whereas this watered down one, the watered down one is more just watering, to be honest with you. But let's do a little bit of a subdivision. So I heard somebody finally say the other day that if you don't have a water mister, just run water through your brush. And honestly, I think that's just the best way. Like, I'm not gonna buy a water mister because what's the point? Like, I have this. This does the same thing. It's not continuous, but it has like water and mist, and you can, like, now that this is almost all gone, I could just kind of water it down, right? And there you go. You have a water mister that you already paid for. So I decided I never need to buy one of those guys because I already watered down my hairbrush. And I kind of do that just to get this part started. I probably should have kind of separated the tangles more first before I started. Let me see. I don't think anything is like really tangly. I just feel like it kind of sticking together a little. When I'm out and about, I love to wear my hair in a braid. Like, I had been doing a ponytail, but I just feel like a braid makes it so that throughout the week you don't have to do as much detangling on your hair, which is something I had kind of missed because I just feel like when your hair is braided, it's essentially detangled to some extent. Although there was a time when I was just unbraiding and rebraiding my hair and wearing it up for a while. Like 2018, 2019, I would do a tiny bit of brushing, but sometimes I feel like I ran out of time, so I couldn't really comb out my hair the way I wanted. I feel like I was just getting into that long hair combing thing, which really honestly did not serve me well. I mean, honestly, I've decided the wet brush is definitely gentler than the wide tooth comb. Like, I want to think the wide tooth comb is really gentle, but it kind of, I mean, it feels like it is when you wash your hair, but I do think in the first stage of your hair being really, really wet, then after you wash it, yeah, I do think a wide tooth comb is good for the first pass because it kind of breaks things up a bit. But I think after a while, it's good to go in with a wet brush. I don't know how I made these rules up. It just feels intuitive. It's just like a way that I brush out my hair. And yes, I'm wearing my giraffe shirt, which has a picture of the giraffe I drew back in 2011. It's been a bit. It's been a good little Zazzle shirt, but I think finally now it looks like the the printing on it is starting to kind of break up a bit, but then it has kind of that retro tea look to it because of it. I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna make some tea. Got coffee there. Something I highly recommend that I love doing. I love doing. personally, I do not believe in eating essential oil. I just don't think that's healthy. That's my personal opinion. But I love this doTERRA orange. It smells so good. And I put a tiny bit in my hair along with, let's put some leave-in conditioner and do the real one, kind of mix it in, give it a nice, I don't know, I just enjoy doing it, okay? I enjoy doing it. I'm just very intuitive about everything I want to do. Whatever I feel like doing is what I do at the moment. And I think it's okay to give yourself permission to just follow your intuition and do what feels right or feels suitable, and no explanation required, because here's the thing, all the more people that aren't very sensitive towards other people, they're not spending their time worrying about what they do if it like impacts other people. Like literally, if you hear certain people talk, all they'll say is, well, this is what I want to do, and they are very laser focused on themselves or their own group or whatever it is, but mainly on anything that will benefit them. And I hate to say that, but if you want to do something, like, do it for yourself. You don't, I know it's, some people get upset, they're like, oh my gosh, you mean you advocate, like somebody was upset that I said you should do things to make yourself happy. Well, there's a reason you should, because nobody else is going to look after you. Like when you're an adult, you need to take care of yourself. So if you're constantly putting yourself in situations that make you feel vulnerable or like strained, like why, what's the point of that? I'm not saying you can't ever give yourself to other people, but you should only give yourself and your time to people that will emotionally protect you. And I feel like that's really important, because if somebody isn't willing to like emotionally protect you as a friend, they're just not worth your time of day. Hi, how are you doing? They really aren't. And I feel like our society preaches, oh, well, you should like want to be social, and I feel like I'm not saying you can't be friendly to people and you should be kind and considerate towards people, but this whole socialization thing, I mean, yeah, I do think it's good to go outside and to go for walks and interact with people. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just don't feel like it's necessary to like join a social group to find fulfillment in life. I think you could just hang out with your friends and family occasionally. Like but some people have this high social need. Like they crave a lot of social interaction. They need to be in some sort of club. They need to be in an event. Like, look, I don't mind going places with people occasionally. I like to go shopping every couple weeks with my sister. I don't mind going out and being around people, but I also need a lot of days where I can just be at home doing my own thing, and I find that very comfortable. And I don't think that's being selfish. To me, that's just self-care, because I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like people that don't rest properly, I don't know how they can always be so overly stimulated. Everybody needs time alone, and if they don't, I feel like maybe they're just such a extroverted person that all of their energy is derived from always being around other people. But I feel like maybe if you live in a very big city, that is a thing where you want to constantly be around other people and always interacting with lots and lots of people. But I don't think that's necessary. I don't think people need to constantly be in groups of people, and it's good to just be home alone. Like if you have time, if you're in your free time, I think spending a lot of it home alone is a good thing. I don't, or like if you have a family, spending time with your family. Like I just don't see why. Like there's this inordinate amount of pressure, and I feel like it kind of came back after the pandemic kind of wound down, like to just go out and socialize and to get on apps and to be out there and go to bars and go to restaurants or go to church or go to mosque or wherever it is. But there's a lot of people, they're religious, and they said they don't even go out for Eid or for, I don't know, the 4th of July or New Year's Day. Like they do things at home. I don't think you always have to be out and about socializing to have a fulfilling life. Like, I'm not saying never go out and never see people, but I feel like just devoting more time to quieter activities. But, you know, my viewpoint on that is very much introverted. This is a very introverted, like, reflection from within. Have I heard of, let's see. Oh yeah, I know who Rin is. She's like a very, very famous Rapunzel. She's probably a little bit younger than I am. Not much, but I think she's a couple years younger than me. And I know who she is. She's very, very famous. And I think she used to have short hair, but then she grew her hair like the floor length. I remember seeing a lot of things about her on Instagram, but I haven't really kept up with her lately. I don't know what she's up to at the moment. She doesn't want to speak with you? I don't think she ever did though, dear. Oh, that's horrible. How do you know that though? Did she say that she got that? Because I haven't looked at her recently. I have not looked at her. But did she say that herself? Like, did she post that on her page? I don't know. Or maybe she just changed her mind too. Like, you never know. Maybe she has had very super long hair for a long time and she wanted to cut her hair. But I would have to go to her page. Like, I think she used to have an Instagram account to verify that. Bye. Okay. Are you upset? Okay, I don't know. If somebody's upset for saying that I have to verify something, it's just if I didn't see it myself, I'm not going to speak on it. Like, if I didn't see, like, if I didn't go to somebody's page, I mean, honestly, I haven't seen her stuff coming up in my feed, and I know a lot of long hair stuff does get recommended to people that have ever had long hair content, so I'm not saying it's not true, it's just, I would definitely have to see it. So, if that makes somebody upset, it's interesting. I don't know what to tell you guys, but I vet things. Like, I don't just, like, I literally will go and look to make sure that's happening before I speak on it, you know? So I would definitely, I'm not saying you guys aren't telling me the truth, I would have to say, I'd have to see. And if she doesn't want to talk to you, I think it's just because a lot of the other people, they never did YouTube the way I did. Like, I always had an interactive channel. I have a conversational channel. But most people, there's two different types of long hair YouTuber. There's one that's DIY, and their channel's primarily about, like, where a lot of them do change over time, where they start exploring other topics, but they're not really like channels that were meant for like conversation and discussion. Whereas me, like, I had long hair, and I just happened to discover that people like that I had long hair, and I enjoy doing the live stream format and interacting with you guys because I'm a conversationalist, but not everybody is into that. So if she doesn't want to talk to you, I think it's just because she didn't have a channel like that. She wasn't. I mean, I think she was more just like a hair model. So I don't think it was that she didn't want to talk to you. It's just that's not what her social media presence was about. She was a model, and she had her content online because she did hair modeling and she made some money from that. And I'm not saying I never made money either, but let's be real. My hair was as long as some of those long hair models, and I didn't make as much money as they did. I made a little bit off the YouTube AdSense, but it wasn't even a fraction of what those other ladies were making, because they were doing hair modeling in some professional capacity. And I'll be honest with you, those agencies never reached out to me because I didn't fit in one of the two categories. I wasn't a DIYer, where like the DIYers, they have a certain, like, yeah, I get some brand deals, I get some smaller brand deals, but I think like their content's more driven towards an audience that I would say is advertiser friendly. And I'm not saying that I'm not either, because I am to some degree, but I never had a desire to mold myself. I'm just not going to try and make myself be like something that I'm not. I can't pretend to just have like a certain type of channel that would appeal to people more. I'm gonna be myself, you know, that's all. But it is pretty funny though, like saying that you have to vet something, people get antsy-pantsy about it. But you know what? If you guys don't vet stuff, and people come in my comment section and they tell me something about someone and I haven't seen it for myself from the official source, no, I'm not going to just buy it, because I have to go see that to see what they're talking about. And also, I'm going to understand that if somebody says they don't want to interact with their audience to some degree, that's because that's not what their content was ever about. And I think I've talked about this too on my channel, that a lot of, it's okay to like long hair and to appreciate long hair, and I will interact with you guys, but on the other side of the spectrum, there are a lot of people that are interested in long hair that don't respect the ladies with long hair, because where it's been treated like I want to know, like, if, okay, so here's an example, like this person that had really long hair, if she did have to shave her head, or she decided to shave her head, I don't know her reasoning for it. Like, would you guys still like her? Or would you be fickle pickle? You know, when I talked about a fickle pickle counting his nickels, what do you think that was about? Like, I've been wanting to make a fickle pickle shirt for a while, but what do you think I was talking about? I think I was just talking about how, yeah, I get it, things change and people like want to follow whatever excites them at the moment, but if you guys stopped following her because she didn't have long hair anymore, that says more about you than her, you know, because if you really liked her and you were invested in what she was posting, like, you would still be following her. I don't know, I don't even know, like, I'm wondering, because I might have to look more into this, and maybe you guys have inspired another video about when hair fetishes get evil and mean-spirited, because if you guys are telling me something about her and you're invalidating her in some way, oh boy, it will be, I will have something to say about that here. I'm gonna have something to say about that here. And yeah, it's gonna be more about the unhealthy side of the hair fetish. So I hope you guys were just saying that you're concerned about her. I don't know, because I just hope what you're saying is that you admire that she had long hair, because I don't, yeah, I did that video, the unhealthy side of the hair fetish, because I used to see the guys that would go on the social media and say that, oh, when this lady cut her hair, like, they couldn't follow her anymore. And I just remember that was back when I wasn't even planning on cutting my hair. And I remember feeling instantaneously disgusted by that comment, because then I realized they didn't value these people they were following. they weren't invested in these people they were following. They were just following them because they had long hair. And that's fine to have trichophilia, where you love long hair. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with being attracted to women or men that have long hair. But when you start treating somebody like an object, that's the unhealthy side of the hair fetish. So I hope that in you guys telling me about this, that you are following her for the right reasons. And I want to also say, you can admire somebody with long hair, respect somebody who has long hair, but you also have to respect if they didn't really talk to you. Like, first off, I never saw this person that you were talking about. She was a hair model. She was a professional model. I think she's still, I don't know much about her. I just know she came up in my feed, and I thought, well, she was very pretty and she was very attractive. And I thought, what I liked about her was that she was a little bit of diversity in the hair genre, because like Indian hair women, like they have their diversity for sure, but a lot of Americans and Euro men, like they're not talking about like other ethnic women, and you see a lot of like Eastern European women or American women with long hair, but whereas like there's not a whole lot of ethnic diversity. And what I did like about her was that she was somebody who wasn't white or wasn't Indian with long hair. Like she represented like another group of people where you could find somebody with long hair. And that's what I respected about her 100%, okay? I love diversity, okay? I'm a diverse person, so I love diversity, and that's what I liked about her. I thought, this is cool, like somebody who's Japanese and showing her Japanese culture, but also talking about how she loves long hair. And I thought it was awesome. I love that about her. So I didn't know her personally. I just saw some of her content that came up on my feed, and I have a lot of respect for her. And however she chooses to interact with her audience, that's her choice. And I hope she's okay. But I would have to bet. I'd have to go look at her page and know, because I'm not just going to take something that somebody puts in a comment as gospel until I see it with my own eyes and I see if she posted about that, You have to be very careful, guys. I'm just saying. Just very careful. And you need to be thoughtful, too, about what you're putting out there. Okay, you don't have to care about skin or ethnicity. What I'm saying is what I liked. I'm not saying you have to care about it. What I liked was, I just thought, like when I first, this was my impression, of long hair community, And I talked about it in several long hair videos. There was a lady who actually came out on the YouTubes, and she can have her own opinion, but she literally said that she thought people with dark long hair, and she meant references to like kind of about being white, like she thought they weren't as beautiful, and that's fine. She can think that, but it was that mentality. I thought, oh wow. She said out loud what I kind of was seeing, like, you look at some of those big hair channels, like that do the modeling, and you don't see a lot of diversity, and you don't have to care about somebody's ethnicity. But what I liked about her was that she was showing like that long hair is universal and that we're all humans, and she's sharing part of her culture, and I like that about her, is what I was saying, That's what I was sharing. Like for me, because what you see is a very just Euro-American centric long hair thing, and where people praise like certain lighter colors of hair or straighter hair over wavy or curly hair. Like I have wavy hair. I'm part Middle Eastern. So I can appreciate somebody like the Indian people, like they appreciate people in their culture, but I can definitely just appreciate people that have a little bit of diversity going on, and I like that. So that's what that was about. It was just talking about how early on, like I think it's changed now with shorts and with TikTok. I think long hair community is becoming more diverse, but some of the things like the official modeling videos, it was very Eurocentric, Like I'm just telling you my reaction to it, and that's what I think. And what I liked about her was that she was unique, and she represented somebody that wasn't the typical hair, like professional hair model, and I liked that about her. I thought that was cool. So that was what I was sharing, that it was nice to see somebody that wasn't like, not that the Eurocentric women are stereotypical, but a lot of them have like a similar hair texture, which is straight. Just straight hair. Like wavy hair is a different animal. Like wavy hair, you have to oil it more, you have to put water in it to detangle. It's a very different thing. And yes, there are Eurocentric people that have wavy hair, but just the straight hair genre, like it's a different thing, you know? So I just like to see other hair textures represented and other people represented. That's what I liked about her. And that was my whole point, you know? It is to some extent, but there are some cultures where they're not real dominant cultures, but they're more like smaller cultures where women actually shave their heads and men had long hair. I'll have to look up some stuff about that for you guys, but there were a few cultures where this happened. Like that's not my preference, but yeah. But in general, yeah, long hair is considered feminine, but long hair was also considered masculine, like in Eurocentric cultures and Middle Eastern cultures and like American cultures up until the Victorian era. And the Victorians were the ones that changed that idea that masculinity was tied to having short hair, you know? So, you know, I'm just saying. Personally, I value whatever other people want. I just try to be supportive of people, and if they want to have long hair, I think that's cool. Like, that's kind of my whole idea. And I am a feminine woman, but I don't set out to like judge other people on how they want to express themselves and their identity. Like I know a lot of people really, really feel strongly about that, but like I said, I'm all about free will and letting people be who they are, you know. But I do love long hair and femininity. I do love that for me. But other people want short hair, and some people think like a Marilyn Monroe haircut's very feminine. So I love long hair personally, but some people have different notions on what they feel is feminine or how they express their femininity. You know, some women feel makeup is very feminine, and I don't wear a lot of makeup. I don't have an interest in a lot of makeup. So I feel like it's very subjective, but I love long hair. So without getting too deep into that. But that's too bad she got sick. I do feel bad for her, you know. Anyway, that was all I was trying to express. I mean, I used to get some really weird comments on my channel. I've never met a hair fetish person in real life, and I don't have a hair fetish myself. I just like long hair. And like I said, like I'm respectful of people who like long hair, or trichophilia, if that's their hair fetish. I know there's other fetishes like wearing a bikini that's more mainstream, or a shoe fetish. It's pretty darn mainstream. Like there's companies, and I would say like even hair, I would say some stylists probably definitely are hair fetish people, like, but they're using their profession as a guise. And like, let's be honest, like a lot of Pantene commercials, that's straight up hair fetish stuff, some of it. I don't really care, like, if people have a hair fetish. I just think hair is beautiful, and I love long hair, but I don't have a hair fetish. Like, I didn't even know what a hair fetish was until 2017. I didn't know that existed. Like, when I started, like, posting more long hair content, that's when I learned about it. Because people started telling me about it in the comments, and I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't. I really didn't, because it's just not a thing that was on my radar. I'm not saying it was never a thing. I just didn't know about it. So, you know, I learned a lot of things when I started this channel that I never knew about. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then people also like kind of made a lot of assumptions or told me what I should post. I'm like, no, I post what I like. So I don't really care, but like I said, there are unhealthy sides to it, and the problem with it is when men go to women's channels, like especially the DIY girlies, and they start foisting that fetish on them, because that's so unfair. Because people that are into DIY hair YouTube, they're not posting content for men. They're actually posting it for other women, how-to tutorial. That's why they're on here. I'm not even on here to cater to certain specific people. I just like sharing my long hair journey. So yeah, and it's been interesting because I have to balance things, right? Because I know that there's a lot of people, they are attracted to long hair, and I love long hair, but for a different reason than they like long hair, okay? And I don't have anything against people enjoying long hair, and if they like long hair, I think that's fine. Like, you should like what you like as long as you're respectful about it, you know? As long as you respect other people's boundaries, it's fine to like long hair. There's nothing wrong with liking long hair. But I start having problems with it when people start thinking like, okay, well, here's an example. If you're a man, and I've talked about this multiple times, you shouldn't be messaging women on social media that you don't know 99.95% of the time, because most women with long hair don't want you to message them. That's just straight up true. Most women that have a social media presence, they're doing it to share because they like long hair, because they like DIY, because they enjoy like having a conversational outlet. They're not posting because they want random men to message them. And it makes people feel uncomfy, and it makes them feel bad, and it makes them feel like, why? Like, why? And you might think like, oh, yeah, I'm just admiring someone. But if you really admire someone, you can do it in the comments of the video or on the comments of the photo on Instagram. You can just say that they have nice hair. You don't have to assume that they want to have a relationship with you, because 99.999% of the time they don't. They want to have a relationship with people they know in real life. And you can admire somebody having long hair. So that's all I'm going to say about that, because I could go off for hours on that one, but that's just how most people feel. And I feel like there's a disconnect, and I feel like some men think just because a woman has long hair that she's automatically going to be attracted to him. Because honestly, what if she has like a specific fetish where she's attracted to muscular men, and you're a short older guy, and you might be attracted to her, but she's not attracted to you, okay? Unless you're like some billionaire, what do you have to offer her? I don't know. I'm not a gold digger personally, but I'm just saying, to women like that, like, I'm sure they have, like, if they're attractive and they're hair models, they have plenty of offers. They're not worried about random guys on the internet messaging them, you know? Anyhow, that's just, and unless they started a dating profile saying that this is my dating profile, like, that's just how it is, you know? So you can like long hair, but you need to use your comments into someone, people's boundaries go out the window, I don't know. Or they just have a heightened level of fantasy in their life, because most people you see on the internet, you're not going to have a friendship or a relationship with them. This is just reality, okay? You can like somebody, you can follow them. Like, I enjoy talking to people, but I've just always been me, right? I'm not claiming to be like some professional hair model. But I have beautiful hair, and I still have beautiful hair. And I don't mind talking to people, but on the same token, I don't like a lot of messages that people would send me, because they just made a lot of assumptions, and I'm not a chatterbean anyway, you know? So that's just my take on all that. So I went real off on that topic, but anyways, yeah, that's that. So I think it's fine to admire long hair. I just don't think people should ever make assumptions about somebody with long hair or push their boundaries. And I think messaging people is a big boundary push. Like, I honestly, messaging. Okay, let's I'm gonna be real straight up honest with you. When it comes to people on social media, I've never initiated messaging with anybody that I saw on social media because I just didn't see how that was applicable to me. Like, I might, like, there have been times that I thought, oh, this guy's attractive, but it never entered my mind that I should message them because I thought that. You know, because I think it'd come off kind of weird. I think this guy would think, like, who is this lady? Like, why is she messaging me? She doesn't even know me. It's kind of weird, you know? It's kind of random. And even if you're just doing it because you say you want to be someone's friend, it's a little strange. Some people form friendships with people they know in real life. And I know some YouTubers do actually get married with people that they meet, but I think it was because they had like a specific interest where it was more than just hair. Like, I know there's one vegan YouTuber, a natural vegan. She said she met her partner, but he was a vegan, and they had like that commonality of like, you know, not consuming animal products and animal ethics and whatnot that drew them to each other. Like, they had more in common than just one thing. So if you think that you could build a relationship with someone based on her having long hair, maybe Ren is a good example, because I wonder about these guys. It's just something I think about. But I mean, I don't really need to go that more into it. I was thinking, oh, maybe I need to look into this and see what it's all about. I don't know. How much do I need to look into it? Probably not too much, but I don't know. Those are just my thoughts on that. Because I talk so much, I need to finish brushing out this side of my hair because I feel like it's not really super brushed. Too, I have to be honest, like, if I have reactions to certain things, it's just because I'm talking about early things I saw, like when I first started posting hair, and like people recommended that I go to the long hair community, and I saw things people were posting, and then of course like long hair modeling thing would pop up, And I saw a lot of that, and then what people would say, and there's a reason they disabled their comments on a lot of those modeling hair videos for obvious reasons, you know, because they wanted to promote the modeling side of the hair, not the, like, they're not doing it to, they're online for different reasons. Like, there's DIYers, there's hair model. I mean, I do think my hair looked good enough. It was, like, better than some, like, thicker. It was longer than some people that were hair models, like, professionally. Like, not that they didn't have beautiful hair. That's just my texture, right? It's just, I didn't pursue that, and that wasn't what I was on here. I just was sharing my hair journey, so I wasn't a hair model. I think also, too, some of the people that are hair model, they're regular model, too. And they're kind of just doing modeling. Maybe they're acting. I don't know. Maybe they're in the acting modeling world, so... Like, one thing about Ren is I don't think she's just a hair model. I think she did other kinds of modeling as well, because she's very model-esque, you know? And she looks like she could be an actress. Like, I that's the impression I get. A lot of the people that did more professional hair modeling, maybe they're also actors. I don't know much about it, really, because I just know the little things I saw. You know, that's all I know. And then some people were just DIY girlies, and then you had the judgmental hair community ladies that were like, oh no, hair model, bad, bad, bad. And then I was just me. And I was like, okay, well, I don't really fit in any of those categories. But I don't think anybody does anyway, because I think it's just the internet. And I think people market themselves, you know, to whatever they want to be. And my opinion on anything really is just share what you like. The world would be a better place if people just shared what they liked, because then you would see what you liked and it would resonate with you and you would follow that. That's my opinion on all that. That's why I don't even think 50, or like, I'll do a few edited videos, but it's not like a high, like, I don't need to do edited videos all the time. I like doing hair live streams. I haven't been doing as many lately, but I still enjoy them just because, I don't know, I just like doing my hair, brushing my hair. And I do like that blow dryer, but I don't think I'll be using it all the time just because I don't like to put heat on my hair all the time. And as you can see, I kind of wet style my hair, you know. Maybe I should go make another cup of tea. I'll be right back, everybody. Off that plants for a second. I think I might do more cooking tonight. I was thinking about that. Because they're not coming to fix the light. Maybe they'll come before 6, but yeah, I put in an order to have my light fixed. Although the pipes were making weird noises yesterday. Yeah, they do that all the time. So I should have known. It's not like a super priority, but they'll fix the light eventually. So I was hoping. Back. a scrunchie. They still have those filters like the bubbles. I always wonder about that. Well, they still have the bubbles. I love the bubbles. This was an OG YouTube live stream feature that they had way back. Hi, I love these bubbles. They make me happy. Yeah, I've never done a TikTok live because I don't have enough followers on TikTok. By the way, you can follow me on TikTok or Instagram if you want. TikTok, I only have like 300 something followers, so you can follow me in those places too if you want. But I just post short content on TikTok. I feel like the bubbles are a little distracting though. I love the bubbles, but maybe not too many bubbles, you know? And it's very old school. That's like one of the original filters. That was definitely a YouTube live stream filter. Story. I feel like it could have went down farther though. Maria, Maria. So just do your hair the way that makes you happy every day, I say. Like, there are certain hairstyles that just make me happy. I don't want, like, you know, I do love long hair. Like, honestly, I love long hair because I was never into, do you know how, I tried layering a few times with my hair, but it's just not me. It's just never me. Like, I didn't really like having layers in my hair. I liked having one length of hair. I mean, because I trim my own hair, it has this like U-type hemline, but in general, I just love having one length of hair. And I remember when I tried layers, I never loved it because the thing I hated about layers was you had to pretty much use heat on your hair every day for it to look a certain way. And the type of heat I like is I wanted to have, like, I used a wet brush, not a wet brush, but like a curling type brush that was like, had a little bit of, it was like a Conair hot brush, and it had air that blew out of it, but I just didn't like doing that to my hair every day because I just don't think it's it's good to put heat on your hair every day. And you could go a few days without doing it, but I personally just didn't like that. And also, too, if you braided your hair with layers, the layers stick out of your braids, and I don't like that. So for me, like some men, there are some men that say they like hair loose all the time, and that's not what I like about long hair. I love to braid my hair, like. So honestly, at the end of the day, I have long hair for different reasons than a man would think I have long hair, right? Because men just assume like you want to have your hair go everywhere, which honestly, how annoying would that be? Like I don't know. I mean, some women do wear their hair down, and I feel like, or loose. I feel like that would so annoy me if my hair was going everywhere and touching everything. I don't like it. I don't know why that was deemed like the more acceptable type of long hairstyle. I just don't see why like that particular style is considered the it thing. Because I like long hair because you can create all kinds of cool braids with it. Like, why does it have to be like who makes these rules up? Or then some guys would think, well, they wanted buns, but you couldn't braid a bun. It had to be a certain kind of bun they liked. And I'm like, no. It's my hair. Like, that's why you have women that do the hair modeling things. They do what you want. But you have to pay for it. I think you should have to pay for it if you want something specific. That's what I think. I think, yeah. You have to pay them for it. That's kind of what my feeling on that. Otherwise, you just keep your little mouth shut and you enjoy what people post. You know, you have to like what they like. .com. I mean, the reason I know like a lot of my followers aren't super generous is because I did create a membership for my channel, right? I only put up one video, but I felt like, hey, like they should want to support the channel, and I never had anybody do it, so that tells me a lot about like people in general. Like I'm not like expecting that, but I'm just saying. Side story. Growing up in Spanish Harlem. Da, 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 da. Anyway, here's that, and thanks for watching.